We're live from Joliet, Illinois, and ATI Field at Joliet Memorial Stadium for today's soccer matchup between the University of St. Francis and Davenport University, a non-conference match for St. Francis and their fourth of the season, all of them here at home. My name is Terry Bonadonna on the call for today's game. 90 minutes of soccer coming up. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First for the visitors from Davenport. The defenders are Imani Richards, Lacey Shanity, Christina Dunstan, Cassandra Bosworth, and Cynthia Conan. In midfield, Allison Lertzma and Alex Prout. The forwards are Madeline Zayan, Elena Hilgendorf, and Rohima Bennett. For St. Francis, the defenders Brittany Cook, Kiki Estrada, Brenda Estrada, Camille Papalera, Grace McDermott in the midfield with Martina Katurba, Carly Draheim, and Casey Harris. The forwards are Olivia De La Rosa and Alejandra Alonso. The goalkeeper matchup today for Davenport, Lauren McCarty, a freshman from Alto, Michigan, and for St. Francis, making her first start of the year, Jessica Keeley, the senior out of Wheaton North High School. And Keeley is the first goalie to touch the ball as the opening kick goes straight back into the St. Francis box, and she sends it away. Ball remains in St. Francis's defensive zone as Davenport stays on the attack early on here. Back on their defensive line, this is Imani Richards holding it on the right side. Now trying to get it towards the center. Carly Draheim made a challenge on that ball but was unable to take it away. He'll stay with Davenport. Davenport, of course, going from left to right on your screen here in the first half. The Saints going from right to left. St. Francis in their gold-backed jerseys with the white and gold horizontal stripes on the front side of the uniforms. Davenport, a similar theme to their jerseys as they wear gray, with the horizontal stripes somewhat thicker on the front of their jerseys, white and gray, and they're the ones who come away with that 50-50 ball. Coming into the box now from the left side, that ball is rolled out of bounds. A good run by Elena Hilgendorf, but she comes up short as it's well defended by St. Francis just over a minute into today's action. So far, over the first minute, the possession has been controlled by Davenport, and they're going to get a chance right now to put the ball in the net on a corner kick, first corner kick we've had so far today. Down on the far side, ball is set up by Madeline Zayan. She sends it towards the middle. Keeley pushes it away, but still loose in the box, and there's a shot that will sail well wide. Jumping in on that ball was number 19, Elena Hilgendorf, and she was able to get her foot on it, but it was deflected away. And again, it will go out the back line. Another corner kick, this time from the near sideline. Davenport's had some early chances. The Panthers looking for their first goal of the season. They come into play today with an 0-2 record so far in 2017. Kick is away, goes towards the back line, and it is booted away. Rohima Bennett tried to put her foot on that ball, but she was not able to get it under control. However, Panthers do retain possession only briefly as that pass is stolen away by Alejandra Alonso. Towards the near sideline, it's pushed out of bounds, last touched by St. Francis. Davenport throw-in. Along the near side, it's headed right back out of bounds, and this time off of Davenport. So St. Francis takes possession. We're only a couple of minutes into the game, but St. Francis has not been able to mount an attack just yet. Davenport has controlled it. St. Francis trying to push it across midfield. Instead, it's pushed out of bounds, and again, last touched by the Fighting Saints. Another throw for Davenport right down the sideline. It is controlled inbounds this time and kept in by Davenport. They'll push it back to the back line, and now the run begins from Christina Dunstan. Tapped backwards, Cynthia Conan across to the left side. There's a big boot downfield towards the box. Keeley will step up. She doesn't get there. It is deflected away. St. Francis is able to clear for the moment, but the Panthers still on the attack. There's a push towards the middle of the field, and Carly Draheim is there to intercept, and Draheim pushes it off to the right side. St. Francis does clear once again. So the Saints have not been able to get anything going on the offensive side, now nearly 4 minutes into the action here, but they've been able to hold off any serious threats from Davenport. It is the Panthers once again in possession right now, but on the defensive side. Nearly taken away by the Saints. And now the Saints do have possession on the positive end of the field, but it's kicked away. I think that was Casey Harris who touched it last. That ball got away from her a little bit and down into the box. where it's easily scooped up by the freshman goalkeeper Lauren McCarty. McCarty, in her first year of college soccer, has started all 3 games in goal for Davenport. She's done a fine job, allowing 3 goals so far through the first 2 games, but both of those losses for the Panthers, who fell 1-0 and 2-0 respectively in their first 2 games. So the defense has not been bad. It's been a matter of getting the offense going, and they haven't really shown any fluency on their attacks so far today. They have controlled time of possession. They haven't been able to do anything with it. St. Francis gets the throw in, but it will roll right back out of bounds. And we're going the other way. Davenport to push it in. Lacey Shanady down the far sideline. Loose ball near midfield and kicked out of bounds. Alejandra Alonso, the last one to touch that ball for St. Francis. Loose ball at midfield. It's up in the air. Casey Harris is unable to get her head on that ball. Instead, it's sent away by Davenport, and Shanady is unable to keep it in bounds. So there'll be a St. Francis throw in here on the far sideline. 20 yards outside the box. Harris tosses it in. Down along the sideline. This is De La Rosa losing it. Out of bounds, and we're going the other way once again. Not a great flow to this game in the early going. 39.5 minutes to play in the first half. Saints have not been able to maintain a solid possession yet. I don't know that they've had one with more than a couple of touches so far in the game. They're going to get another chance right here on the throw-in from Harris. Harris lobs it a little bit too strong that time, looking for Alonso. Alonso's still trying to track it down along the back line, but Shanady steps in front of her. Shanady keeps it in bounds and sends it the other way for Davenport. Still in their defensive zone. This is Conan. Downfield and headed back by St. Francis. Now here comes Harris losing the ball. Davenport takes it away again. Zayan. Ahead to midfield. This is Rohima Bennett. Nice touch by Bennett, trying to weave it through the defense, but Camille Papalera steps in and boots it out of bounds. Nice defensive play there by Papalera. We remain scoreless. 38.5 minutes to play in the first half. Loose ball. Casey Harris hits it once towards the sideline. Shanady there for Davenport. And Harris steps in once again. A little help that time from Olivia De La Rosa. So Davenport's attack once again is squelched. Here's a St. Francis throw from just on the defensive side of midfield. Headed by De La Rosa down the far sideline. It'll roll for a while. Nobody there for either side. Finally, Cynthia Conan will track it down in the corner, and she's going to let it keep going, and it will go out of bounds for a goal kick. First time we've had one of these today. Lauren McCarty will get a chance to set it up and send it away. Saints came into play today unbeaten with a 2 wins and 1 tie record. They're playing their 4th consecutive game at home, and they'll have another one this coming Tuesday against Clark, 7 o'clock here at ATI Field. In the opposite start for Davenport. They still have not played a home game yet. Trying to take care of business on the road today. Ball taps back by Cassandra Bosworth towards McCarty. Not sent very far down the sideline, and it will go out of bounds. Last touch by Davenport. Here is perhaps a chance for the Saints. Haven't been able to get it into the box yet. Lobbed in for Draheim and poked away from behind her. Brittany Cook gives it a chase, but she loses control. And once again out of bounds to Davenport. Credit to the Panthers early on. They've controlled the pace of this game so far, even though neither team has yet been able to take a shot on goal. St. Francis pushing it down and intercepted once again. Christina Dunstan gets it across midfield. Now here's Zayan sending it down the sideline, looking for Rohima Bennett to make the run, and Bennett won't be able to make that. So it rolls out the back line. It's going to be a goal kick for the Fighting Saints, and Jessica Keeley getting the start today after Bethany Domkowski had started and performed extremely well over the first 3 games of the year. Keeley gets the call today, and so far she has not been challenged. 9 minutes into the action. Keeley gets to involve herself here with a goal kick right into possession of the Panthers. Zayan gives it up towards the middle of the field. Back to the right side. They were looking for Madeline Zayan, but intercepted. Davenport in control on the defensive side. Imani Richards back to the middle, and Conan. And now across midfield to Bosworth. Bosworth can't control it. Dispossessed by Carly Draheim. And both teams giving it up here. Either side able to control possession. Finally, Davenport starts to make a run. Coming down the near sideline. This is Hilgendorf. Hilgendorf into the box. Pushed from behind by Brittany Cook. And nice work by Cook defensively to force that ball out of bounds. It will be a corner kick here for Davenport. That one could have been a lot worse. This at least gives the Saints a chance to get their defense back and set. No score here early on, just about 10 minutes in. Ball is set up by Shanity for the corner kick. Already the third corner kick today for Davenport. Shanity approaches. She sends it in near post. It's headed up in the air and over the net. Out of bounds. That will go right back to where it was for the fourth corner kick of the game for Davenport. I think it was Casey Harris once again getting her head on that ball and getting it at least momentarily out of harm's way. Shanity will get another chance at it right here. Again to the front post. This time it hits the post and ricochets out in front of the net where it is cleared by St. Francis. Nicely handled by the Saints defense. They'll get it out of bounds. And Davenport will get a chance to set themselves up once again, but this time just a throw-in rather than those back-to-back corner kicks. Into Bennett. Bennett, an awkward touch out of bounds. And another bullet dodged by the Saints. So they'll clear it out of harm's way once again, at least for the moment. Davenport has had far greater opportunities early in today's game. They really haven't been able to do much with them. Even on 4 corner kicks, they've not yet been able to get a good shot off. Ball kicked away and headed right back in the other direction by Alex Prout of Davenport. But there's Carly Draheim pushing it forward for the Fighting Saints. And now going back and forth, headed into the box. Keeley will step up and make the grab. With Hilgendorf bearing down on her, Keeley's able to maintain her composure and scoop that ball up fairly easily. She'll give it a big punt down the middle of the field, and it lands just shy of midfield towards the right sideline and out of bounds. So nothing doing for the Saints there. Still on the Saints' defensive end right now. Defense has had a lot of pressure against them early on. This is Hilgendorf. Hilgendorf rolls it along the sideline. Grace McDermott battling for that ball. She can't win it quite yet for Davenport, or for the Saints, I should say. There's a shot from outside from Davenport, blocked in the box. And sent out of bounds along the far side once again. Shanity with another throw-in. This is Bennett coming down the far side and centering it. Looking for an opening. This is Zayan shooting, and it's deflected away by Draheim. Nice defensive play by the midfielder there. And here come the Saints the other way, but Zayan rips it away. Nice challenge there on Katurba. Zayan's able to take it back for Davenport. They roll it down the center of the field, and they'll set up the attack once again. Shanity along the far side. Pushes it ahead. Intercepted. Intercepted there by Grace McDermott. Trying to control it for the Saints. She kicks it away, and it's given right back to the Panthers. Shanity ahead down the sideline. This is De La Rosa losing it off the first touch. And now cleared by St. Francis across midfield, but taken right back by Davenport. Christina Dunstan. Dunstan on an individual run. Trying to blow by a couple of defenders. She's unable to do so. A good challenge, and it's taken away. Davenport still in control. Crossed and intercepted by Estrada. It's Kiki Estrada trying to clear it for the Saints. And they do get it back across midfield, but no attackers are there for the Saints. So no problem whatsoever for Cynthia Conan to go back and control that ball for Davenport. She gets back from McCarty. And now trying to reverse field. This is Cassandra Bosworth tapping it back to the defensive side. Knocked up into the air. The ball loose at midfield. Who will control it? Looks like it could be St. Francis. It is Casey Harris tapping it off and getting it right back. Here's Harris down the sideline. She rolls it ahead, looking for help, and she's got that help on the far sideline. Alejandra Alonso down in the corner looking for the cross. She gets it right back, and she was offsides. Martina Katurba got the ball right back to Alejandra Alonso, but Alonso, off of her second touch, was offsides, and so it is a turnover for the Fighting Saints with just under 31 minutes to play in the first half. Not a ton of action so far, especially not on the north end of the field where the Saints are shooting, trying to get something going against what's been a very tough Davenport attack so far. Saints defense has been up to the task. Davenport has not gotten any good shots off despite their dominance in possession time. This is Shanity chasing the ball down into the corner. She'll keep it in bounds and cross it, but right to Jessica Keeley, the senior goalkeeper, waiting there for the easy stop. Now Keeley will slow it down a little bit, allowing everyone to move downfield before giving it the big boot across midfield. And a bad first touch there by Alonso. She loses it right out the far sideline. Davenport throw in coming. This is Casey Harris for St. Francis. Harris sends it down, looking to get it through to Martina Katurba, and Katurba's unable to catch up to that ball. Lauren McCarty looked to the left and now reverses field to the right side and finds Amani Richards. Richards challenged by Draheim, but gets it away to Zayan. Madeline Zayan pushes it off to her left, and it's kicked out of bounds by Casey Harris. A throw in here for Davenport. Davenport out of Michigan, playing a little bit closer to home here. They started with a pair of games in Utah last week. They've got a run this week against St. Francis and Robert Morris in the Chicago area, looking for that first victory. There's a cross and nobody there. Elena Hilgendorf had a nice little run into the box right there. Not sure she was looking for a pass or a shot there. If it was a shot, it was well wide. If it was a pass, it may have been a good one if there had been someone coming down the back end of that play, but there wasn't, and it sails easily out of bounds for a St. Francis throw-in, but they lose the ball immediately off the throw-in. There's a cross to Zayan, challenged from behind and knocked away. Good defense by Katurba that time. Davenport still in possession. Zayan turns to the outside, trying to get around Brittany Cook. She does, but there's help there from Estrada. And the flag is up. Going the other way. 28 minutes, 30 seconds to play, first half. We have no score. Saints have played some tight ones this year. In their first 3 games, nothing has been decided by more than 1 goal. So they're fine, comfortably playing a tight one so far today. Still very early in the game. Just about 17 minutes in. Carly Draheim lobbing it into Harris. Off the leg, right back to Draheim where it's taken away. Allison Lertzma puts her foot on that ball for Davenport. Lertzma trying to split the defense. Estrada knocks it away for just a brief moment. Recontrolled by Hilgendorf, who shoots and sails it high and over the back of the net. That'll go out for a goal kick. Nice attempt right there from Elena Hilgendorf. Good turn, good touch, just a little bit high, and it sailed over the crossbar and just wide to the left. So another defensive stop made by the Fighting Saints. And they get the goal kick now. It'll be taken by Estrada. Down the middle of the field, it's headed backwards. And there's Shanity for Davenport, pushing it deep down the left sideline. And no help there as Grace McDermott will watch that ball bounce slowly out the sideline. Tossed into Harrison, right back to McDermott. Saints trying to sustain an attack here. They haven't been able to get one going all game. It's been all Davenport controlling possession, and yet they have not scored. All it takes is one good attack from St. Francis to give them control of this game. Harris pushes it deep down the far sideline. Long run for that ball for Olivia De La Rosa. She won't get to it. And it is knocked out of bounds for a St. Francis throw-in. McDermott coming up from the back line, trying to toss it in over the head of Hilgendorf, but she finds Shanity on the back end behind Hilgendorf, and Shanity is able to knock it out the side. So it's another St. Francis throw-in. Deflected away immediately by Hilgendorf. Harris touches it for St. Francis, but loses it off the first touch. A battle for that ball results in it going out of bounds again for another St. Francis throw-in. Over everybody's head once again here, but Conan will trace it down. Cynthia Conan back towards the goal and right back to her. Conan working along the sideline to Shanity. Harris steps in, Shanity gets rid of it. Ball deflected, but right back to Davenport. Shanity again. She'll try the sideline again, and this time it's intercepted by the St. Francis defense. And Camille Papalera, who has it tackled away from her, but she gets it right back. Nice moves by Papalera, pushing off to the left side. Drahan right back to Casey Harris on the right. Harris towards the middle of the field, deflected, headed away by Conan. Ball loose at midfield, popped up into the air. This will be Draheim. Head to the right, she tries to get it back, and it's intercepted by Lertzma. And now the offensive player falls down for Davenport. That allows Brittany Cook to step in, push it ahead to Draheim. Draheim forced off the ball, she finds Harris, and Harris's first pass is intercepted by Shanity. Just under 25 minutes to go in the first half. Davenport in possession once again, pushing it left to right, and knocked out of bounds along the blue track that surrounds the field here. Davenport throw in for Shanity. Lacey Shanity tosses it in, ball deflected, and Estrada pushes it downfield. One hop, a little bit too high. De La Rosa there on the back end, she loses it, back to Shanity. Ahead to Bennett, Harris, good tackle. And Harris is able to find Alejandra Alonso. See if the Saints can hold on to possession here. This will be Harris. Harris's pass deflected, but it finds a teammate. Now downfield, this is Cook. Losing the ball, and Davenport will take control along the near sideline with Imani Richards. Richards clears it. Left side Shanity. High kick down the middle of the field. One touch, and the ball is lost. Struggling for control. That is Madeline Zayan. Finding a teammate behind her, and now loose right at the edge of the box. It is deflected away. Gotten right back by Davenport. Looking for a scoring chance right here. This is Richards on the outside. Richards pushes ahead. Nice challenge by Cook to get rid of it, and right back to Richards. Pushes across to Conan, midfield. Now push softly ahead, and right back. Conan against De La Rosa. Finds on the left side Hilgendorf, and there's Camille Papalera stepping in for the clearance. Nice work by Papalera. And the Saints get it going now at midfield. It's taken back by Davenport. This is Cassandra Bosworth. Back to the defensive side. Going ahead. 10 yards past midfield. And now a big kick to the right side. Chasing down Richards, trying to keep it in bounds, and she can't do it. Saints ball on the throw-in, and the Saints will make a substitution as well. Olivia Hollander, sophomore midfielder, comes in. And coming off the field is the senior defender, Brenda Estrada. Saints are not able to take advantage of their throw-in as they head it immediately right back out of bounds. Past the halfway point here in the first half, we still have no score. This is Harris. Harris working her way to the left. Touches it ahead to Katurba. And now De La Rosa poked between her legs and out of bounds. Last touch by Imani Richards. Saints near sideline at midfield. Carly Draheim will get the throw. Into Katurba, whose pass for Olivia Hollander sails a little wide. It's intercepted by Hilgendorf. Hilgendorf throws it ahead for Madeline Zayan against two defenders in the corner. Stepping in is Estrada. Nice work by Kiki Estrada to clear it for the moment. Right back into the box for Davenport. Headed towards the back line and out of bounds. That's going to go for a corner kick. Fifth corner kick today for Davenport. They have kept the pressure on constantly, and yet Jessica Keeley still really has not been challenged in goal. been the defense of St. Francis stepping up to this point. We'll see if they can step up once again here on another opportunity for Davenport. Shanity sends it away to the back line, streaking in for the header, but missing out of bounds. That was number 22, Allison Lertzma. Sophomore midfielder, unable to capitalize, but as it was deflected out by St. Francis, Davenport will get yet another corner kick, this time from the opposite side. Far corner. This time comes from Zayan, straight to the back side. It is knocked up into the air and kept in bounds by Hilgendorf, rolled away, but it's still in possession of Bennett and the Panthers. Now Shanity. Shanity rolls to the left at the edge of the box, intercepted by Grace McDermott, and McDermott clears it. Ahead to Alejandra Alonso. Alonso looking downfield for De La Rosa. Now it's one-on-one with Richards. De La Rosa cuts back towards the middle. Good run here, but Richards steps in front of her. Nice defense by Amani Richards. De La Rosa beat her once. But Richards did not allow herself to be beaten more than that. She recovered on the play, and she cleared it to the other side. Still in possession of St. Francis. That was their best opportunity really all game on a good individual run from number 2. Under 20 minutes to play, first half. Davenport in possession once more. That's Richards with the big kick down the near sideline. Bouncing over the head of Brittany Cook, but Kiki Estrada is there on the backside. Estrada looking for the clearance, but it's taken away by Hilgendorf. Good play by Hilgendorf. Her pass is deflected by Cook out of bounds right in the corner, but that went out along the sideline, so it will be a throw-in rather than a corner kick. Davenport's been very impressive so far today. We're going to make a couple of substitutions here, keep people fresh in the end of the first half. Ashlyn Skidmore is in, as is Alice Linsel. Throw-in will come from Richards, down near the corner. Tossed in towards the near post, and now on the backside, Linsel with the shot, and Keeley falls on top of it. Alice Linsel just into the game for the first time seconds ago, and immediately gets a good opportunity from 20 yards out. And right in front of the near post, Jessica Keeley falls on top of it. A good save on her first real challenge of the game. We're still scoreless here. Davenport with Zayan, passes to the left. And now Brittany Cook sends it down the middle of the field. Ronan pushes to the right, and Richards, awkward first touch. She missed on it. And it goes out of bounds. St. Francis throw-in. Draheim against a couple of gray shirts, could not find anybody, and it's knocked out of bounds by Olivia De La Rosa. Here's the throw-in from Davenport. Over the first line of defense, knocked out of bounds by Estrada. She pokes it away from Elena Hilgendorf. Thrown in once again and knocked out of bounds once again by Kiki Estrada. Davenport incrementally down the field, getting throw-in after throw-in here. 17.5 minutes to play in the first half. We're starting to get a little bit late here in the first period of play. Davenport looking for a cross, and it's well defended on the back end. Shanity can't get a shot off, and there's Casey Harris intercepting Shanity's pass attempt. Nice job by the midfielder there. If the defense had everybody blanketed on what looked like a good opportunity for Davenport. Along the far side, losing the ball is Alonso, taken right back by Davenport. Good steal by Linsel. Estrada looking for the clearance. It is knocked away down the sideline and too far near the sideline, out of bounds. Here's Lacey Shanity on another throw-in. Down near the corner and into the box. Brittany Cook steps in front. Cook is intercepted. And now a chance inside. A shot and a goal for Davenport. Their first goal of the season. It belongs to Ketlin Varney. Freshman forward in off the bench. She's able to put it in the back of the net with 16:27 to play in the first half. It's 1-0 Panthers. Davenport was shut out in each of their first 2 games this year. 1-0 and 2-0, though their offense generated a lot more chances in their second game of the season than they did in the first. And they've done so again here today, as they have constantly kept the pressure on St. Francis in this first half, and now they finally break through. 29th minute of play. First goal belongs to Barney. And now St. Francis will look to answer. Saints have been able to play from behind before. In fact, they trailed Cornerstone in their last game at one point, 2-0. Last Saturday, came from behind for a 3-2 victory in that one. So this game's got a long way to go. Saints aren't certainly going to panic with a 1-0 deficit. Looking for an attack right there, but Conan is able to knock it away, and Davenport will clear it. Davenport throw-in. Goes up off the head of Ashlyn Skidmore, nearly taken away, but instead back out of bounds. Down the far sideline, loose ball. Davenport controls it, but a whistle blows. And the foul called against Davenport there, so we'll go the other way with it. Hollander and McDermott looking to put the ball back in play with the clock ticking now down under 15 minutes for the first half. It'll be Hollander with the big kick, headed off towards the sign. This is Katurba on the backside, pokes it between the legs of Richards, but can't recover after that as Richards does get back on it. Nice defense by Amani Richards off a solid attempt from Martina Katurba. A few more subs coming on now. Jalen Seanborn Kelly is into the game, as is Danielle McCarty for the team in gray. They've used their bench liberally here in the first half, and it's paid off, leading them to the 1-0 lead. The ball belongs to Davenport along the near sideline. 45 yards outside of the net. On down the sideline and headed out of bounds by Kiki Estrada. He'll be tossed in by Seanborn Kelly. Jalen Seanborn Kelly intercepted and back out of bounds again. That is Estrada knocking it away. And knocked out again. Davenport will continue with this possession, lobbing it into the box. Off the chest of Cook. And knocked away downfield. Cynthia Conan for Davenport. Bad first touch, taken away by the Fighting Saints. Now here comes a run from Petrowski. Kelly Petrowski loses control of the ball. Cynthia Conan takes it away. Down the near sideline, good run from Conan. Her pass intercepted by Brittany Cook. Conan sticks with it though, poking it away from Cook. Davenport still has control here. There's a good challenge from Draheim. Carly Draheim takes it back for the Saints, but trying to get it out of harm's way. This is Katurba pushing to the right, looking for Casey Harris. She's got Harris, and Harris lobs it ahead. The defense is there. She was looking for Alonzo, but instead she found Danielle McCarty. McCarty sends it off to the right side. There's Draheim on the steal. Ahead for Kelly Petrowski. Petrowski tracks it all the way down into the corner. Looking for some help. She finds Katurba. Katurba's first touch deflected right back to her. Now she cuts back to her right, and it's intercepted and cleared by the Panthers. Back across midfield. Again, the Saints and Kiki Estrada will chase it back towards their own net. Estrada now streaking down the sideline, ahead to Draheim. Draheim passes for Hollander, a little bit too strong off Hollander's foot. Deflected, back to Davenport. Davenport looking to double their lead. There's the cross, and headed away nicely. Good defensive play by McDermott, but Davenport keeps the attack alive. Got it just outside the box, deflected away, and Kiki Estrada will let Jessica Keeley pick that ball up and she'll be able to clear it once and for all. 11.5 minutes to play in the first half. It's 1-0 Davenport. Davenport trying to extend their lead. They've got the ball. Just to the right of the hash marks. Rolled off further to that side is Seanborn Kelly. Back to Zayan, who loses it. Nearly got it right back, but she fell down, and that gave St. Francis easy possession. Petrowski to Harris, looking right back for Petrowski. She's not there, but it is tapped back to Carly Draheim. There's Draheim booting it down to the right side. Alonzo trying to turn on that ball, but it is ripped away from her. Alice Linsel on the defense. Davenport's defense has been very impressive so far today. On the far sideline, it's rolled ahead to Skidmore. Skidmore passes it back to Conan. On the left side, it's Danielle McCarty. McCarty waiting for help, and now she makes her move, pushing it along towards the corner. That ball will roll along the back line and eventually out of bounds. Kiki Estrada picks it up. As soon as it does roll all the way beyond the line, and she'll be able to set that ball up now for a goal kick. Well, 1-0 the Saints trail. They have not yet been able to force a challenge to Lauren McCarty, goalkeeper for Davenport. Estrada rolls it down the right side, and Conan is there to intercept. Now to the middle of the field. This is Cassandra Bosworth. Bosworth loses it, and McDermott knocks it out of bounds. Still on St. Francis's defensive end right now. Trying to go into halftime. At worst, down by 1 goal. Into the box, Estrada clears it. Taken right back by Alice Linsel. Linsel loses control. Casey Harris there with the tackle. Head for Petrowski. Petrowski tries to push it back forward to Casey Harris, but too strong. McCarty is able to step up from the goalie position and boot it downfield. Given right back to the Fighting Saints. The Saints along the sideline. Here's Hollander. Hollander ahead, looking for Alonzo. Did not find her. Instead, Cynthia Conan steps in front, and Conan lets that ball roll all the way back into the box. Lauren McCarty will carry it into the box so she can pick it up, and now reverse field as she takes it back towards the center. 8.5 minutes to play first half. There's McCarty's big kick. It lands right at the midfield stripe, headed further down by Davenport, but immediately taken away by the Saints. Hollander down to the right side. Now working it backwards. There's a whistle, and it will be a free kick for the Fighting Saints. Play moves on as Carly Draheim sets it up. Draheim down into the box, nobody there. Save for Cynthia Conan. It was an easy clearance for Davenport. Back towards the edge of the box, a run from Petrowski and knocked away from her. Here's Alejandra Alonzo down on the right side. Nice job tracking that loose ball down. Alonzo's shot towards the net, rolls well to the left of it. And Lauren McCarty will casually pick that ball up just in front of the net. Here's her punt. Headed back by Hollander, but right to Davenport. Draheim battling for that ball. Draheim wins the battle. Taps it off to Gaturba. Right back to Carly Draheim. Draheim's had a nice season so far this year. Trying to kickstart the offense here this afternoon as they trail 1-0. Nearing halftime. We've got 7 minutes still to play. This is Petrowski. Soft touch to McDermott. The defender from the right side can't catch up to that ball. Out of bounds on St. Francis. A couple more subs coming on for Davenport. Meg Wazinski, Taylor Jensink are into the game. Bosworth and Zayan get a breather before they will probably be back out there at some point in the second half. Hollander's kick deflected right back to her, but there's Grace McDermott. McDermott towards the middle of the field finds Harris. Now Draheim ahead to Katurba. It's 2-on-4 right now. The Saints are trying to make a move with Petrowski looking ahead for Katurba. She couldn't find her. Passed it behind the offensive help she was looking for. And instead, St. Francis will lose that ball along the sideline. This will be another throw in for Davenport. Panthers already lead by 1 goal. They scored it just about 11 minutes ago, breaking a 0-0 tie. Panthers really have not had any scoring chances since then. St. Francis is starting to take over possession of this game since that first goal scored. Hollander down the right side. That ball will drift off towards the back line and it will sail out of bounds. Nice attempt from Alejandra Alonso to retrieve that ball inside the line. She couldn't do it on time. Set up for a goal kick by Danielle McCarty, a junior from Caledonia, Michigan. Nice challenge taken away by the Saints and lost right back. Good effort from Petrowski on the challenge. Did not really have the touch that she was looking for on the pass. And now here's Brittany Cook with an interception for the Saints. Cook to Draheim. Draheim's pass is intercepted. Panthers trying to work it along the sideline. Nobody there on offense. Kiki Estrada. And yellow for the Saints, able to push it downfield. That ball will hug the line, and it does ultimately get out of bounds. So it's another Davenport throw in with just over 4 minutes to play in today's first half. Davenport clutching on to that 1-goal lead. Whistle blows. It's going to go out of bounds to St. Francis. Ball just barely out. Play did not stop until the whistle blew. This ball will more assuredly go out of bounds. For the throw in for St. Francis. Cook. And to Katurba. Katurba gives it up. There's Harris looking ahead for Petrowski. Petrowski battling and not winning that battle against Christina Dunstan. It is taken away by Davenport. Panthers looking for a 2-goal lead. Lose the ball once again. Sides going back and forth with possession now. A lot of turnovers here. The team has been able to hold on to the ball the last minute. And now it is a prolonged attack from the Saints, but they're still on the defensive side. Draheim to Hollander, and Hollander's intercepted. Nice defense there by the Saints, stepping in front of that. Here's Casey Harris. Harris finally gets it across midfield. Down the right side, it is headed away by Conan, but right back to Petrowski. One touch, lost to the Panthers. Here come the Saints. Harris making a run down the sideline. That ball will go out of bounds. 2:45 on the clock. Saints are looking for a late goal to add a little momentum heading into halftime. Ball's battled for at midfield. Won briefly by Davenport, but only briefly, as they do lose the ball out of bounds. St. Francis will get the throw here. Not much offense so far in this game for the Fighting Saints. No goals, not very many opportunities. I can't think of too many shots that they've taken in today's game. Davenport, meanwhile, has the only goal, and they're threatening here. Towards the middle of the field, nearly intercepted. And now this one is intercepted by Brittany Cook. Pushed ahead for Petrowski, and Petrowski can't get there before Cynthia Conan does. Estrada looking for help from Cook once again. And Cook is forced out of bounds by Meg Wazinski. Nice play by Meg Wazinski, forcing Cook to touch that ball last as she was unable to hold on. Davenport ball down in the corner. Knocked out for another corner kick. Ashlyn Skidmore forced that ball out. Good play by Skidmore. Lacey Shanity has been the one taking the corner kicks today. Shanity out at the moment, so it'll be Catlin Varney trying to set this one up instead. Varney pushes it behind the back post, a little bit too high for Wazinski.
1 minute.
Just off the crown of the head of Wazinski, and it went out the far sideline. So St. Francis has a chance for one more attack here with less than a minute to play. And it looks like they may have squandered that one last opportunity, as Davenport will get a chance for one last serious attack here. Ball loose at midfield. Kept alive by the Panthers. Conan rolls it down the left side. It's going to squirt all the way out the back line. That will go as a goal kick. Clock down to 17 seconds. I'm not sure the Saints will have enough time to get it all the way from where they're at right now down the field with a couple of passes. It does look like they're just going to let the clock roll out here. 7 seconds to play. Healy plays it short, and that is how the first half will come to an end. St. Francis a little bit overmatched in the early going by Davenport. The Panthers did a good job of keeping the pressure on, really making the Saints defense work early in this game, and then 16:27 to play in the half. Catlin Varney was able to put one in the back of the net, scoring the first goal of the year for Davenport and giving them a 1-0 lead at halftime. I'm going to step aside, back with second half action in a little bit. Time slated to last right around 15 minutes, so don't go anywhere. Second half of St. Francis against Davenport coming up. Davenport currently leads by a goal.
Have a good one.
We are just about ready to resume action here in Joliet. ATI Field at Joliet Memorial Stadium. Terry Bonadonna with you here for the second half of action. St. Francis against Davenport, and we are back underway. St. Francis gets the first touch, but they give it up to the defense of Davenport, who leads today's game by a 1-0 score. They got a goal out of Caitlin Varney in the 29th minute. She put one in from just to the left of the net after the Saints had been unable to hold on to possession in front of their goalkeeper, Jessica Keeley. Keeley's been pretty good so far in today's game in her first start of the year. She's made just one save. There have only technically been 2 shots on goal, but she's been a lot more active than Lauren McCarty has on the other end of the field. McCarty has not had a shot to stop yet. Look at some of the stats from the first half. Davenport 2 shots on goal, St. Francis none. Davenport had 10 total shots. The Saints did not have a shot in the first half of today's game. So they'll try to turn things around here in the second half of action. Davenport just has had a lot more opportunities. This is Lacey Shanity trying to create one right here for the Panthers. She pushes it across midfield to Bennett and now off to the right side. This is Alex Prout touching it once and rolling it off to Amani Richards on the right. Richards taps it ahead to Madeline Zayan. Zayan working on Kiki Estrada, and she backs it all the way out. Now to the back line, Cynthia Conan, a deep shot and well wide to the right. She took that one from about 35 yards out. Cynthia Conan, a defensive player, not one who is likely to score all that many goals or even really take all that many shots over the course of a full season. Decided to fire away right there, and nothing doing on that particular attempt for Davenport. Just underway here in half number 2. Saints, who have scored 5 goals in their first 3 games combined, have been stifled so far today. They were shut out once a week ago today, in fact, against Aquinas right here at home. They were held scoreless, however, after 2 full overtimes in that game. Aquinas went scoreless as well, so that was a 0-0 tie. They know that if they want to remain undefeated today, they're going to need to score at least once over the next 42.5 minutes. Casey Harris pushes it down the right sideline. Nobody there. De La Rosa giving it a little run, but Lauren McCarty will easily step up and knock that ball away. Now on the back defensive side, Brittany Cook watches that ball roll out of bounds. It'll be a St. Francis throw-in. Kind of a weird first half. There just wasn't really a lot of rhythm to it. Davenport had possession for a much greater percentage of the first 45 minutes than St. Francis did, but they didn't do a ton with that possession. They had it deep in the Saints' defensive territory quite a few times, but didn't have a whole lot of opportunities. They did take 10 shots, but only 2 of them went on goal, and other than the one that they scored, Jessica Keeley had a fairly routine save on the other shot that went on goal. Just shot to the left side and out of bounds. Sandra Bosworth a little bit too strong on that pass. 41.5 minutes to play in today's game. There's a throw in from St. Francis, headed up in the air by Shanady. De La Rosa battling for that ball, but she loses the battle to Cynthia Conan. So it's Davenport once again. There's a run from Rohima Bennett, passing it back to Bosworth. Bosworth down the center of the field and easily stopped by Jessica Keeley. So another deep shot there for Davenport, that time from Cassandra Bosworth, the sophomore defender. Keeley not significantly challenged. It's a good battle between De La Rosa and Conan. Conan knocks De La Rosa down, no whistle. So here's Davenport once again. Carly Draheim trying to take that ball away. She does. She finds Casey Harris. Now Harris downfield. Doesn't have anyone there. De La Rosa chasing it from behind. But it is going to be Conan reaching that ball first again. And Conan taps it backwards and out of bounds. She was the last one to touch it. So now the Saints offense has a chance to make their way downfield as De La Rosa lobs it in. Here's Katurba with the shot and knocked down by McCarty. Not a difficult save there for Lauren McCarty right at the front post. The ball rolled right into her hands, but it is a step in the right direction for the Saints, and it all started with Olivia De La Rosa's throw-in. Kind of catching Davenport's defense off guard with a quick throw, and they were able to set up the shot for Katurba. It just didn't go anywhere. So it's still a 1-0 Davenport lead, but the Saints trying to take some momentum here. Casey Harris loses the ball. Still Davenport in possession. Elena Hilgendorf. Hilgendorf gives it up and now tapped off to the left side. Number 8, Ashlyn Skidmore. Skidmore into the box, but Keeley steps up and makes the play. Keeley will take her time, a couple of bounces before punting it away. Down the middle of the field to Carly Draheim. Draheim rolls it off for Casey Harris. Harris has been a very active player this season and throughout her 3-year career at St. Francis. Hasn't had a big impact yet on this game. Still plenty of time for that to change as the clock ticks down to 39 minutes remaining. Booted downfield and towards the left side. Long run for Alejandra Alonso, and she'll have to give up as that ball easily reaches the sideline for a throw-in for the Panthers. Headed right back out of bounds by Davenport in front of defender Brittany Cook, and that allows Cook a chance to throw in here.
And then when everybody comes, everyone
Intercepted by Imani Richards, but Richards boots it right back out into the seats. It'll ricochet back down towards the track. Easier to retrieve, still out of bounds either way. Headed this time in the other direction towards the field, and a little shove from behind by Olivia Hollander will be a foul, and it means it is going to be a free kick for Davenport. Not a terribly physical first half. Not a whole lot of whistles were blown. We get one right here. Fairly early still in the second half. The ball rolls towards the sideline, and Alonso there to pick it up for St. Francis. Alonso loses it out of bounds. She says that should be St. Francis ball. The officials disagree. 37.5 minutes to go. And we're ready to continue. Lobbed in and headed away. Battle for the ball on the far sideline. It's won by Davenport. Zayan off towards the sideline and out of bounds. Cook will toss it in for Saints into Alonso. Alonso deflected out by Richards. Haven't been able to get it away from that sideline for a little while now. Your team able to take a possession. Still 1-0 Davenport, getting a little bit later in this one. Saints were able to get their first shot off a few moments ago. We'll see if they can get another one going right here. Towards the net, it's knocked out of bounds. Well played defensively by Cynthia Conan. She's had a good game on the back line. Senior from Southgate, Michigan. Majority of the roster at Davenport is from Michigan. Do have a couple of international players. Amy Corcoran from Ireland, Rohima Bennett and Sabrina Stone are both from Jamaica. Out of bounds. That one last touched by Camille Papalera. Davenport gets the throw. No, St. Francis will get the throw. Initially it was given to Davenport. Papalera, though, knocked that ball off of Madeline Zayan. So Grace McDermott was able to toss it in, but it's intercepted right back, and there's McDermott stepping in again. Harris ahead to De La Rosa, and well defended by Shanady. Hollander to Carly Draheim. Draheim one touch to the left side. Here comes Brittany Cook on a little run across midfield. Cook trying to get some momentum behind her. Rolls it ahead for Alejandra Alonso. A little bit too strong for Alonso. Cassandra Bosworth steals it away for Davenport. A lot of credit to the Panthers defense today. Saints just have not been able to get anything going towards the net. Every time they take possession, it seems to stop right across midfield. Here's Bennett. Rohima Bennett. Just in front of the box. Turn around, a shot, and Keeley is there to make the save. Ashlyn Skidmore trying to put that one in. Keeley was not deterred, no problem making the save on that shot. 35 minutes to play in today's game. 55 minutes in. And it's still 1-0 Davenport. It's been a while since either team has scored. Back in the 28th minute, when the freshman Catlin Varney got the first goal of the year for the Panthers, a team that did not score in either of their first 2 games. Today, just their 3rd of the season. Saints are playing their 4th game of 2017. Here's Hollander with a good win on that challenge. Ahead to Carly Draheim. Draheim looking for De La Rosa, couldn't find her. Looks like Lacey Shanity will track that ball down. Shanity's pass away is deflected, and she does stick with it and does get the clearance. This is Rahima Bennett losing it. Olivia Hollander and Grace McDermott in on that steal. Here's Draheim, cutting it back to the left towards middle field. And now further to the left side. This is Cook. Down into the corner, across is deflected from Alonzo. It was deflected by Imani Richards out of bounds, and the Saints are going to get their first corner kick of the game. Davenport has had 7 of them, creating some opportunity that they have not necessarily capitalized on. But they've kept a lot of pressure on the Saints defense. This is the first time all night that St. Francis is going to get an opportunity for a corner kick, and it comes from Carly Draheim. Draheim will play it short, and it's easily knocked away. No problem at all there for the Davenport defense. But here comes the second wave for St. Francis. Katurba into the box and picked up by Lauren McCarty. It's Lorrin, not necessarily your typical Lauren spelling. McCarty is probably how you would expect. McCarty. McCarty punts it short. Grace McDermott comes away with it for the Saints, and St. Francis on the attack again. Hollander looking for Katurba, but Conan steps in and pokes that ball away. But here come the Saints again, back to the defensive line. They'll try to set it up from deep. Casey Harris. Harris pushes it to the left, looking for Hollander, but couldn't find her. Went a little bit too strong for her. This is Davenport again. Alex Prout back to Conan. Cynthia Conan. That's Shanady airmailing everybody, and down towards the back line. Jessica Keeley easily picks that ball up, keeping it in bounds, and she'll get a chance to punt away here. She'll eat a few seconds off the clock first, as that one allows it to tick it down towards 32 minutes now remaining in the game. Bennett rolls it to the left, and Shanady. Lacey Shanity's pass intercepted by Draheim, but Draheim a little bit out of control, and now she does tackle it away from Bennett. Very nicely done by Draheim. Here's Alex Prout taking it right back, and Shanity down the field, headed up in the air towards the box. Nobody there wearing gray, and offsides flag is up anyway from the far sideline. St. Francis only trails by 1. They've been down for much of the contest this afternoon. So they've constantly had this feeling of trying to play catch up, and yet at no point has this lead been out of reach or anything close to it. They're still right there, just trying to get one good attack going here. It's Casey Harris. Harris working on Bosworth, rolls it ahead for De La Rosa, who keeps the ball in bounds but can't keep possession. Now back on the defensive end, Grace McDermott ahead for Casey Harris, who loses out of bounds. Shanity will toss it back in. Hugs the sideline. Bennett's the first one to touch, but it's cleared by Kiki Estrada. Headed up into the air towards St. Francis' offensive side. De La Rosa working to take it away from Conan, but Conan sticks with it. Nice touch behind her. Finds Shanity, and Shanity clears. Here's Hollander coming right back the other way. Shanity up into the air. Ball loose along the near sideline, 35 yards out, and knocked away. Deep down the sideline, St. Francis territory again, deflected out of bounds by Rahima Bennett. St. Francis gets the throw in here with a half hour to play still in the game. This is Davenport possession. Hilgendorf has it knocked away from her and out of bounds. Last touch by Hilgendorf. That's Hilgendorf once again putting her noggin on it. Skidmore gets around Carly Draheim. Nice touch by Skidmore. She gets it ahead to Zayan. Madeline Zayan gets around Kiki Estrada. She cannot get around Brittany Cook, who steps in, knocks it away, and out in the corner. That will go as a corner kick for Davenport. Panthers catch a little bit of a break there as that ball hit right out in the corner, just a couple of inches off to the right. And we're looking at a throw in here, but instead it's their 8th corner kick of the game and a chance to double their lead. It's 1-0 right now. And it has been since the first half. Lacey Shanity squares it up. Here it comes. Back post. Harris gets in the way, and it is cleared by Olivia Hollander. There's Harris forcing it ahead for De La Rosa, and Katurba is there. Martina Katurba trying to push it ahead for De La Rosa. Instead, it's Amani Richards who jumps in front. The defender passes back to Lauren McCarty, and McCarty's able to clear it. Taken right back by the Saints, but nobody on the near sideline. De La Rosa had cut back towards the middle of the field on the last play, so nobody there to field that pass. And it's thrown in by Davenport right at midfield. This is Bennett. Back to Prout and over to Bosworth. Bosworth trying to work it ahead offensively for Davenport. Hilgendorf down the sideline, nobody there, but the bench. Throw in here for St. Francis. Draheim taps it to the left and Hollander. Hollander turns and fires downfield, and too strong for De La Rosa. Ball rolled back towards the box and tapped into the box by Lauren McCarty, which will allow her to pick that ball up and roll it out to Shanity. Shanity sends it down the near sideline. Papalera steps in front of it. Another good play defensively, that time by Kiki Estrada. Here's Zayan pushing it to the right side. Defense had been thrown slightly off by the Davenport attack there, but a sloppy shot goes out of bounds. And this will go as a St. Francis goal kick with just over 27 minutes remaining in the game. Olivia De La Rosa checks out, and back in for St. Francis is the freshman Kelly Petrowski. We saw Petrowski play for a while in the first half, so this is her second appearance in the game right now. She provided a little bit of a spark in the first half. We'll see what she can do here. Playing up top, along with Martina Katurba, the two forwards right now for St. Francis, and this is Katurba working on the far side. Now trying to cut it back towards the middle. Katurba looking ahead to the right. Nobody there on the cross. Casey Harris will chase that ball down, but she won't get there in time. Easily cleared by Shanity. Knocks it out of bounds, allowing for a St. Francis throw-in. Once again, they work quickly. Grace McDermott finds Carly Draheim. Now Casey Harris poked right back to the outside. Harris not there this time. Unable to receive that pass. Still 1-0 Davenport. Almost halfway through the second period now. The battle for the ball being waged in Davenport territory. Bosworth a little bit shaken up. St. Francis does have possession. This is Brittany Cook. Cook to Alonzo and right back to Cook, who now makes a move towards the box. Nice touch to Katurba, and she loses it. Cook and Katurba maybe not on the same page there. A little miscommunication. The two of them nearly ran into each other, but the Saints do get the ball right back. This is Draheim. Over to Harris. Casey Harris taps it to the right. Tripped up. A whistle blows, and the foul is going to be called on Davenport. I think there was Shanity who got tangled up with Petrowski. 46 yards out, slightly to the right. It's a free kick from Casey Harris. Not likely she'll be able to put this one on net from the kick itself. She's got a number of players down on her left looking to pass it into the box and easily knocked away. I think that was Richards who got her head on it. There's McDermott forcing it across to the left side. Martina Katurba down in the corner. Katurba does keep it in bounds. Working against Christina Dunstan. She pulls it out, now into the box. Looking to center that ball, no one there. And it's tapped away by Davenport's defense. Here's a run from Hilgendorf. Hilgendorf trying to blow by Grace McDermott. McDermott sticking with her step for step, but she hasn't been able to stop her. Hilgendorf down looking for the cross, and she could not find Zayan. Nicely defended by Kiki Estrada, who pushes it out of bounds for another corner kick. Good run right there from Hilgendorf to set this thing up. McDermott trying to stick with her, but she couldn't get in front of her. And ultimately it was Kiki Estrada defensively who stepped in and made the play. Couple of substitutions for the Panthers, and head coach Chris Allen. Allison Lertzma is back in as the corner kick is sent away towards the middle of the field, up into the air, still loose in the box. Davenport will control possession, and it's taken away. Nicely done right there by Petrowski, and Petrowski hammers it off of Zayan and out of bounds for a goal kick. Caitlin Varney is back in as well. Davenport played Varney only briefly in the first half, but she made pretty big impact, huge impact in fact. She's the only one to have scored a goal in today's game. Going to catch some of that once again here. Down the sideline, Davenport, Hilgendorf working against Papalera. And it's out the sideline. Papalera was the last one to touch that ball. So here comes Shanity all the way up from the defensive position to make this throw in. Deep in St. Francis territory. Shanity sizes it up, now sends it towards the middle of the field. Headed right back towards the sideline, and Petrowski knocks it out of bounds. Shanity to inbound again here. Headed away by Hollander down the middle of the field. And to Alonso, who turns around and fires it out of bounds along the near sideline. 22.5 minutes to play and counting. Second half of action here in Joliet. Davenport has scored their first goal of the season, looking for their first win of the season, trying to deal St. Francis their first loss. Casey Harris is dispossessed by Zayan. Now she turns and fires a shot, but it's weakly hit right to Jessica Keeley, a relatively easy stop. From the center of the field, about 20 yards out. Zayan found herself freed up. She tried to fire a shot, but really just wasn't in position to get enough strength on that one. So no problem for Keeley. Here come the Panthers, going right to left. Intercepted. And now here come the Saints, going left to right. They don't have good offensive numbers here with the entire Davenport defense back, but they're trying to weave their way through them anyway. Petrowski was looking for Katurba, but out of bounds. Saints get the throw here. Carly Draheim will do the honors. Into the box, it's Petrowski. Right back to Draheim. Draheim looking for the cross, it's deflected, and it'll stay in bounds. Nicely done by Amani Richards. Not only deflecting what could have been a big pass, but keeping control of it and not allowing St. Francis to get that throw in right back. Instead, she's moved the ball downfield, close to midfield. Now she gets a throw in. Richards tosses into Varney, who immediately loses possession to Brittany Cook. Down the far sideline again, a long run for Alonso to get back into the play, and Alonso cannot take it away from Christina Dunstan. Dunstan, the freshman defender, keeps it for the Panthers and pushes it forward. The ball rolls untouched all the way to Varney. Varney loses it, And a whistle blows. Quick break for Kiki Estrada to tie her shoe as the clock takes down to 20 minutes. Saints down by 1. Goal scored by Varney. 29th minute of action. Since then, it's been pretty quiet. Not a whole lot of good opportunities for either team. It's been a fairly quiet game, and as far as scoring chances go, the ball is knocked out of bounds by Davenport. Saints get a throw in on the near side. And knocked out of bounds once again, but this time by the Fighting Saints. In fact, this is going to be a free kick rather than a throw-in. A little bit of a shove there. Deep down the sideline. St. Francis' defense steps in, does not allow Varney to get another shot off. Here's Casey Harris. Harris and Holland are working a little bit of a two-man game, and it's intercepted. Nice shot deflect right there as Ashlyn Skidmore thought she had an opening. The defense was able to jump in and knock it back out of bounds. That one could have been dangerous for St. Francis. Instead, it's just another throw-in for Davenport. That clock continues to run, getting late now. Not a lot of time for St. Francis to get back into this one with under 19 minutes to play. Still trailing by 1. Not a huge deficit, but they still have not had a really good scoring chance yet all game. All it takes is 1 here, as long as the defense can hold up. Saints looking to clear it, unable to do so far. Prout pushes it to the right side, and Richards down into the box, guarded by Brittany Cook. And Richards stumbles and falls over the ball. Cook trying to get it out from underneath her. And the whistle will blow. It's going to be a free kick for St. Francis as Richards kind of squatted on top of that one. Kick here will be taken by Kiki Estrada, who will try to jumpstart the Saints' dormant offense. Deflected back by Davenport. Here's Prout, pushing it ahead down the middle, and right at Jessica Keeley. Keeley's done well today. Certainly, his playing time is nothing new for her. Bethany Domkowski has been the starting goalkeeper so far this year. Domkowski was named CCAC's Defender of the Week for her efforts last week, but gets the day off today for Keeley, who is a senior and who has seen a lot of playing time over the last few years. Even if Domkowski has been the primary goalie, Keeley has been out there quite a bit also as De La Rosa comes back in, and the freshman Martina Katurba checks out. One freshman in for another. Well, Keeley's done a fine job. She's given up just the 1 goal. She hasn't made any great saves, but the 1 goal that she did give up was a ball that she really didn't have much chance to stop based on where it was shot from by Caitlin Varney. As the offsides flag goes up, the violation called against St. Francis, turning the ball over right back to Davenport. Leads by a goal with under 17 minutes to play.
So we need to do it in practice at least once or twice a week for like a half hour. Once a week. And he said
ball poked up into the air. Trying to keep it in bounds. Skidmore does. Gets it off to Alex Prout. Prout trying to control the ball from Petrowski, and the two of them ended up tumbling to the ground as they were both battling for the ball. St. Francis was able to push it downfield, but nobody there on the offensive side. So now here's Casey Harris trying to set things up. Harris from long range, an easy stop for Lauren McCarty. Quick sub here for Davenport as Taylor Jensink will come in. Alex Prout is going to get some time off. She'll presumably get the rest of the afternoon off with just 16 minutes to play, although no sure thing. We may see her again. The kick is away from Bosworth. Cross midfield to Varney. Varney turns to her left, passes off to Shanity. Shanity, good kick downfield. There's Hilgendorf. Hilgendorf will take the shot and miss it over the net right there. She had an opportunity a defender on either side of Alina Hilgendorf right there. But Hilgendorf had about a half step on both of them. And a little bit too strong on that touch as Keeley came in. Really caught in between on that one. There wasn't much more she could have done. A good shot from Hilgendorf very easily could have resulted in a 2-0 score. Instead, the shot goes too high, and a wild attempt from Hilgendorf keeps it at 1-0 right now. The Saints still very much alive, but struggling to gain any sort of offensive traction. This is Alejandro Alonso. Nifty ball work, gets around one defender, pushes it off towards the middle and can't get it by that defender as it's knocked away. Papalera, Estrada on the defensive side looking for Casey Harris. Harris will keep this ball in bounds and start to make her way down the sideline. Now she pushes it ahead. Nobody there wearing gold. Harris just a little bit ahead of herself right there, out of control. She did a good job to start that run, but ultimately sent it downfield when both of her strikers were in the middle of the field. She sent it down the sideline. Rahima Bennett is back in, and Madeline Zayan will take a breather here with 14 minutes to play. Ball loose at midfield and secured by Davenport. Back on the defensive side. They'll push it ahead down the middle and headed back to the left. Here's Richards. Richards wins the battle with Alejandra Alonso, but that ball knocked out of bounds by Alonso. Davenport gets to toss it in. There's Brittany Cook after the possession was stolen away. Along the sideline, Alonso looking for a little help. And it's knocked out of bounds. No, it'll stay in bounds. Richards knocked that over to Bennett. And Davenport will have a chance at making a run here. Ashlyn Skidmore over to Allison Lertzma. Skidmore making a move towards the middle, knocked away. Good defense by Camille Papalera. There's Brittany Cook tapping it out. Davenport gets the throw from the far side. Under 13 minutes to go in the game. Just one defensive mistake by St. Francis led to a wide open shot for Caitlin Varney. And Varney was able to score the easy goal back in the 28th minute. And that one goal is held up through this point. Davenport looking not only for their first shutout of the year, their first win of the year. They had lost 1-0 and 2-0 in their first two games. Jessica Keeley picks up that loose ball back in the box. Saints are running out of time here, but they're no stranger to dramatic victories. They won their most recent game quite literally in the final seconds. Broke a tie with 2 seconds left in regulation on a penalty kick. And that was after they had trailed that game early 2-0. They'll try for some late dramatics again right here as a foul is called, allowing a free kick to St. Francis. It'll be taken by Carly Draheim. Over 50 yards out and to the right side. She boots it down into the box, jumping up in the air. A couple of players tried to head that ball and nobody was successful. And now whistle blows and clock is going to stop. Looking to see what the call is here. We've got a penalty kick coming up for St. Francis. I'm not sure who that was called on. May have been a shove in the back there, but this is a very advantageous play for St. Francis. They're going to get the penalty kick now. With 11:24 to play in the second half, Carly Draheim trying to tie the score. Draheim is deflected away. Draheim unable to capitalize on the penalty kick as it's knocked out of bounds. It'll go to Davenport. Didn't get a good touch on that ball. Sent it a little bit too far wide. And that was a big break for Davenport. It was a big break for St. Francis that penalty was called in the box. given a golden opportunity to tie it up, but Davenport retains their 1-0 lead with now under 11 minutes to play in the game. Bennett down along the sideline. Now a whistle blows. Maybe going against St. Francis. Free kick near midfield for Davenport. But that missed penalty kick was huge at this stage of the game. Anytime you're able to stop a penalty kick as an opposition, it's always big. But at this stage of the game, for as close as this one has been, Davenport has got to be feeling good about where they're at right now. In excellent position to come away with their first victory of the year. They've got 10.5 minutes of clock just to kill the rest of the way. Shanady chips it down into the box. Alonso trying to clear that ball for the Saints, not able to take possession of it. She does muscle it towards the outside. There's the cross, and there's a good clearance from Grace McDermott. Bennett gets it right back for Davenport. Bennett weaves her way between a couple of defenders, and a bad shot to a right side wide and out of bounds. Now she did the tough part. Rahima Bennett with some nice ball work. Got between a couple of defenders. There were actually 3 players in gold shirts there, and Bennett was able to shake all of them. She set herself up with an open shot, but was not able to get her foot on it cleanly. And it just rolled harmlessly out the back line. Saints still have life here. The ball up in the air near the St. Francis box, now into the box. Bennett looking to make another run. There's Bennett with the header. Off to Varney, and Varney puts it in again. Number 12, Caitlin Varney, the freshman, just scored her 2nd career goal, and both of them have come today. This one may just be the backbreaker for St. Francis. Now trailing by 2 with 9:15 to go in the game. And credit to Rahima Bennett for setting that one up. Bennett had just missed on an excellent chance less than a minute earlier, but they got the ball right back, and this time Bennett took advantage with a nice little pass to Varney, popping it up. Varney was able to poke it into the back of the net. 2-0, Davenport leads. So now it's desperation time for the Fighting Saints. They need to score, and they need to do it quickly. 2 goals down in the final 9 minutes. This is De La Rosa across midfield, and nobody there. Shanady steps in, and Shanady will keep it in bounds. Right back to Brenda Estrada. Estrada pushes it ahead. Casey Harris finds De La Rosa on the outside. Now towards the middle of the field, knocked away. Harris gets in front of that ball, and it's lost by Petrowski, out of bounds. Last touch by Jensink. Harris inbounds it right back to herself. Now Harris pops it up into the box, headed away. St. Francis trying to stay on the offensive, but that ball is cleared down to the other side of the field. Here's Papalera off to Brittany Cook on the left. Cook trying to work around Varney. Caitlin Varney, 2 goals today for Davenport. She's played well. She hasn't had any big plays other than the 2 goals. She just, when she's been in the right place, she's done the right thing at the right time. You have to give her credit for that. Both of her opportunities she has capitalized on. Nice defense by Casey Harris as she pokes the ball away to Petrowski. Now back to the right side, and Alonso. Alonso rolls it ahead. Casey Harris is there on the near side. Harris touches it once into the box. Now looking for the cross. There it is. Nobody there on the back end. Olivia De La Rosa just a half step late, trying to get in there on the back post to put the ball in the net. And the ball sails all the way out of bounds. More subs coming in for Davenport. They'll bring in 4 new players, including Meg Wazinski, Marissa Woods, I believe making her first appearance today. Jalen Schonborn Kelly and Danielle McCarty are back in as well. Allison Lertzma is out. Lacey Shanady is out. I think Elena Hilgendorf came out as well. with a 2-goal lead, 6.5 minutes to go. Chris Allen right now just trying to get some fresh legs in there. They don't need to do anything special on the offensive end anymore. Just try to hold down this St. Francis attack. Down the sideline and out of bounds, hit by Danielle McCarty, and another good result for Davenport. That'll allow a few more seconds to tick off the clock. Down to 6 minutes now as the Saints make a substitution. Olivia Hollander is back in, and Carly Draheim is going to take a seat. First time that she has sat down today. The Saints lose the ball straight out of bounds on the throw-in. And it's right back out. I don't think that ball on the Davenport throw ever got back in bounds before leaving play again. McDermott gets it right back off the one Davenport touch, and now across field to Olivia Hollander. Hollander rolls it behind her, now booted into the box, but Lauren McCarty is there to pick it up. McCarty will take her time on the clearance here. Punted out towards midfield. Varney turns around and sends it downfield. Didn't get a lot on that one, but Wazinski is there to back her up. Over to Rohima Bennett. Bennett dribbling down the way. Wazinski will take a shot, and Keeley easily makes the stop. Punted towards midfield, headed back by Davenport. Here's Wazinski again. Knocked away by Kiki Estrada. Just 4.5 minutes to play. There's Olivia Hollander sending it high down the right side. Chased down by Conan. Cynthia Conan works her way around Olivia De La Rosa. Now Conan will do some dribbling. She rolls it all the way downfield, and again, just killing some clock. St. Francis will have to try to mount another attack, starting over here from the defensive end. Here's Brenda Estrada. Estrada turns it back upfield, looking, I think, for De La Rosa, but deflected out of bounds by Cynthia Conan. Throw in for St. Francis. Here's Casey Harris. Headed back. Petrowski. And knocked out of bounds by Taylor Jensink. Harris, long throw, looking to get it into the box for Alonzo, but too many gray shirts in the way, and that ball rolls harmlessly into the hands of Lauren McCarty. Still down by 2 goals, just over 3 minutes to play. St. Francis is really running out of time right now. Davenport just trying to slow things down and eat clock as Wazinski keeps that ball in. Back to Seanborn Kelly, and she ultimately loses the ball out of bounds. Knocked into the box, and there's Lauren McCarty stepping in once again. She rolls it off to the left side. Ahead to Rohima Bennett. Bennett taps it across midfield. There's Papalera. Papalera trying to split the defender. She gets around Varney. Nice job of Jensink sticking with her. And there's Cynthia Conan stepping in and knocking it out of bounds. And Conan knocks it out here to set up the De La Rosa throw-in. Into Harris. Harris taps it forward. Conan from behind called for the foul as she gave a good shove to Kelly Petrowski. Casey Harris right here in what may be the last real chance for St. Francis with 2 minutes to play. If they can't score here, it may be too late for them to get 2 more goals. Harris will try to put it on goal, and a little bit too high. Lauren McCarty was not anticipating that. Casey Harris 35 yards out. McCarty was set up on the back post there, expecting Harris to play it for one of her teammates, but she tried to put it straight on net herself. A good shot may have gone in. It wasn't a bad shot, just a little bit high, and did not go through. So now Davenport clears it once again. St. Francis staying on the offensive, but they lose this ball out of bounds, and it is indeed starting to get a little bit too late for St. Francis. They're still down by just 1 goal. It'd be a different story, but down 2. There's not a lot of time remaining. Down to the final 80 seconds. Bonin loses it out of bounds. Well defended right there. Here's Grace McDermott. She sends it past Petrowski, and it's intercepted on the other end by Davenport. Here comes Varney. Varney loses control. Brenda Estrada takes it away. Estrada, one touch to the left side, and she loses. There's a whistle that will go against St. Francis. 50 seconds to play. And Davenport does appear to be on their way to their first win of the year. The Saints on the verge now of falling for the first time out of 4 2017 contests. No hurry here for Christina Dunstan as she does finally send it away. 33 seconds on the clock. Right down the middle of the field. No whistle on that fall, but knocked out of bounds by St. Francis just the same. Back in bounds and now cutting towards the middle of the field. That's Sydney Van Patten just into the game. Grace McDermott looking to clear. And now sent away probably for the final time by Camille Papalera. Down to the final 5 seconds here. Davenport and Wazinski will send it towards the middle, and that will do it for today's game. Davenport comes to Joliet and pulls off the upset win over St. Francis. Hard to call it too big of an upset. You don't know all that much about these teams still at this stage of the season, but St. Francis certainly came in feeling very good about their 2-0-1 record. Davenport had yet to score a goal through their first 2 games, but it is the Panthers defeating the Fighting Saints today by a final of 2-0. A disappointing result for St. Francis, made more so by the way it happened. Just not a lot of fire offensively early on in the ball game. In the second half, they got it going a little bit, but were not able to break through. The deficit proved too much to overcome. Our scoring recap in today's game fairly easy. Both of the goals were scored by Davenport freshman Catelyn Varney out of Woodhaven High School, Brownstone, Michigan. Varney came on as a sub in the first half. And I think it was her first touch of the game. I don't remember seeing her involved in any other play prior to that. The ball was lost in the box. She was able to step in and poke it in the back of the net to make it 1-0 in the 28th minute. And then in the second half, St. Francis had an opportunity. Carly Draheim was given a penalty kick with just over 10 minutes remaining in the game. Draheim was not able to convert the penalty kick, which would have tied the score. And just moments later, Catelyn Varney came through off a beautiful assist from Rohima Bennett. Varney's second goal of the game made it 2-0 Davenport, and that was a lead they would not relinquish the rest of the way. St. Francis turned up the offensive intensity over the final 9 minutes of the game, but even still were not able to get very many chances on the goal. Lauren McCarty had a perfect day as goalkeeper today for Davenport. She wasn't challenged all that often, but she comes away with the big shutout, her first shutout. She's a freshman, so it's the first shutout of her collegiate career, as she and the Davenport Panthers defeat the St. Francis Fighting Saints by a final score of 2-0. With the win, Davenport improves to 1-2 on the year. St. Francis falls to 2-1-1. They draw the loss for the first time this year. Non-conference play continues for the Saints with their 5th consecutive home game this coming Tuesday against Clark, a 7 o'clock start time. They open the year with 5 straight at home, and then finally next weekend they will head out onto the road for the first time. But one more here in Joliet and a chance to pick up 3 wins in their first 5 games at home against Clark on Tuesday at 7 o'clock. Again, our final score today, Davenport 2, St. Francis nothing. That'll do it for today's broadcast. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, this is Terry Bonadonna signing off for the University of St. Francis. Good night.